joining us. You are watching the news on African Free Press Television. My name is Bridget Okudili with the stories in the news this week. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arrested the Managing Director of Stallion Group, Harpreet Singh, for allegedly making 1.3 billion naira questionable payments to a former Minister of State for Finance, Bashir Yuguda. The Nigeria conglomerate owned by the Vaswami brothers is one of the major companies currently being questioned by the EFCC as part of the ongoing investigation into the messy armed procurement scandal in the office of a former National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, retired. A source at the commission disclosed that Stallion's name cropped up when the investigators scrutinizing transactions carried out by the former NSA with Jabba Company, a bureau-de-change operator, stumbled on evidence that Stallion Group also paid 1.37 billion naira on the company, although 100 million naira of the money was later returned, leaving a balance of 1.27 billion naira. Investigation further revealed that Jabama converted the money into United States dollars, making it $140,750,000, and handed it to Mr. Yuguda, former Minister of State for Finance, who is already being prosecuted on multiple charges of fraud and money laundering. Lagos State Governor Mr. Kinwumi Ambode on Thursday presented a budget of 662.588 billion naira for the 2016 fiscal year, which was 172 billion naira higher than the 2015 budget of 489.69 billion naira. The governor presented the budget to the Lagos State House of Assembly, thereby putting recurrent expenditure as 278.909 billion naira and capital expenditure at 383.678 billion naira. He also put the ratio of capital expenditure at 58, while that of recurrent expenditure at 42, noting that the total personnel cost total revenue is 23%, the total personnel cost IGR 31%, and personnel cost as percentage of recurrent expenditure is 46%. Ambode added that the budget would promote massive investment in security, transport, traffic management, physical and social infrastructural development, and enhanced job creation. And meanwhile, Chief Raymond Dokpesi, the chairman of Dar Communications PLC, has been released from Kuje prison after meeting his bail conditions. Reports has it that the court registrar verified and confirmed the various documents submitted by the sureties before Justice Gabriel Kolawole signed for his release. Recall that the media mogul was said to have allegedly received 2.1 billion naira from former National Security Advisor Sambo Dasuki. Dokpesi on December 14, 2015 appeared before the Federal High Court in Abuja to face money laundering charges and subsequently granted bail with some conditions to fulfill. Following his inability to meet his bail conditions, he was remanded at Kuje prisons. The AIT chairman was asked to produce two sureties with 200 million naira each to fulfill the bail conditions. The presiding judge, Justice Gabriel Kolawole, also said the first surety should be a serving or retired director in the civil service, while the second surety should be a private investor who has paid tax for at least the last 3 years. The presidency has denied reports on social media that President Muhammadu Buhari received $300,000 and up to 5 armored sports utility vehicle SUVs from the office of the National Security Advisor in the aftermath of the attack on his convoy in Kaduna last year. It said what Buhari got was 1 armored SUV and 1 untreated SUV after the attack, but were his normal entitlements as a former head of state under the remuneration of former presidents and heads of states decree of 1999. Buhari's special advisor on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, in a statement said the president did not accept a questionable monetary compensation from former President Goodluck Jonathan. And meanwhile, Nigerian troops had discovered the embattled leader of Nigeria's Islamic Shiite, Sheikh Ibrahim Zakzaki, at a residence in Zaria where he had been hiding since Nigerian soldiers shot at his followers, killing more than 100 of them, including a son of the Sheikh. A senior military source under condition of anonymity confirmed that Sheikh Zakzaki escaped into hiding after sustaining injuries. In addition, Nigerian soldiers arrested more than 100 Shiites from different locations in Zaria and handed them over to the police. The military source disclosed that the Shiite leader was found in a bunker-like location near his residence. According to him, the religious leader looked fatigued and had an injury consistent with bullet wound. The officer also explained that contrary to several reports that Sheikh Zakzaki was arrested on Sunday in a military crackdown, the religious leader had quietly hidden in an underground facility as soldiers battled with his followers in his residence and other locations owned by members of the sect. The former Nigerian Minister of Petroleum, Mrs. Denziani Alison Madueke, has strongly stated that all transactions made under her tenure went through due process, as against insinuations that she looted $20 billion. She made this known in London during an interview session with the CEO of Ovation magazine, Mr. Dele Momodu. Mrs. Madueke explained that virtually all the transactions in respect of which allegations of corruption have been leveled against her went through due process, and that the group managing director of NNPC was actively involved in ensuring that the best international practices were maintained. She added that her involvement in the conclusion of these transactions was limited and that some of the contracts had been executed before she became Minister of Petroleum Resources. Mrs. Madueke noted that in some other cases, she only got details after the contract had been concluded when approached by some businessmen who complained about the terms. And on the foreign scene, thousands of protesters are marching in South Africa to demand President Jacob Zuma is sacked. The latest protests are a reaction to him sacking 2 finance ministers last week, further damaging confidence in the economy. This comes on top of claims of widespread corruption, recent student protests, and a succession battle in the governing African National Congress. The marchers are using the hashtag Zuma must fall on social media. Republican presidential hopefuls sparred over how to stop the so-called Islamic State (ISIS) in the first debate since attacks in California and Paris. The national security focus yielded heated exchanges between Senators Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, who clashed on surveillance and immigration policy. Jeb Bush also sought to revive his struggling campaign by forcefully attacking frontrunner Donald Trump. Mr. Trump was on the defensive earlier in the debate for his proposed ban on Muslims entering the U.S., saying, "We are not talking about religion, we are talking about security." However, the debate quickly expanded to broader issues of foreign policy and national security. The candidates repeatedly addressed heightened fears of terrorism in the U.S. on the same day an email threat shut down Los Angeles school system. 6 Nigerians were shortlisted in Abuja for the 2015 GLOCAF Awards by the Confederation of African Football (CAF). They included Coach Emmanuel Amuneke, Coach of the Year, Kelechi Nwakali and Victor Osimhen, Youth Player of the Year, Ngozi Ebere, Women Player of the Year, and the duo of Azubike Okechukwu and Etebo Ogenekaro as Most Promising Talents. Also released were the names of the top 3 players competing for the prize crown of African Footballer of the Year award. They include Pierre-Emerick of Gabon and Borussia Dortmund of Germany. 4-time African Player of the Year Yaya Toure of Cote d'Ivoire and Manchester City, and Andrew Ayew of Ghana and Swansea City FC. For more stories, please log on to our website at www.africanfreepress.com, like our Facebook page at African Free Press, follow us on Twitter at African Free Press. Don't forget to join in our discussions at African Free Press Forum and subscribe to our YouTube channel at African Free Press. My name is Bridget Okudili. Do have a good day.